What
are you doing?
Getting ahead of the game.
You ready?
Okay. You ready?
I'll call the order at 7 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll do a quick roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Here.
Clerk Stephanie here, Treasurer Joel,
Here.
Trustee Olga here, and Trustee Nick.
Here.
We did some agenda.
Yeah, so are you gonna say something about the approval of the agenda?
What's that?
Are we doing the approval of the agenda?
Well, yeah, but we gotta add something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do you need to add?
I can't remember. What
Okay.
was it? We talked about it
So
earlier.
we need to add the combined boundary adjustment
That's right.
motion. And so that will be new business number 3. You are a mess today.
I come unprepared tonight.
So number 3, new business, boundary adjustment, and then I would like to add a number 4 under new business of lump sum for the deputy clerk for elections.
What was that last word?
For elections.
Oh, for elections. Oh, that was one word.
Both of them. Don't handle each other, that's basically.
Okay, so do you not want to do the, we'll just
can.
add that with,
Yeah. You can say it.
so scratch number 3 and we'll add just the lump sum as number 3 and just put those together?
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry for the change. So we'll do new business number 3 is actually just the lump sum. We're gonna get rid of the boundary adjustment. We're gonna combine that with something that's already on the agenda.
All right. Motion to approve the agenda as corrected.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment for 2 minutes. Moving right along. Approval of previous minutes.
So we have 2 of them. So we have the regular board minutes from 10:10 and then the special meeting on 10:29.
Which one are you doing first?
We'll do the 10:10 one. I was
The big
trying
one.
to do them in date order.
I read through it, looked pretty good to me.
Okay.
There's just a spelling of ordinance.
On what?
Under approval of agenda, where it says new business, it says NCRC ordinance. There's just an added. A.
Okay, all right, I will correct that, thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the 10:10 meeting minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one, that's gonna be on, what we did with the PE 116 and the litigation one we did, was only 2 things, right?
On 10, yep, on 10:29.
Right. It's actually a good quick one.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from 10:29.
Or,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Disbursements.
All right, so this month it's gonna look a little bit different because we have the election payroll in there. So the first payroll is just regular payroll of 11,393.64. It's up a little bit. You'll see a new name in here, Mike Seeker. He is actually a building inspector that when Robert is out of town, he actually will do inspections in his place so that everybody still is kind of on task with all of their builds. And then everybody else, there was also an increase with the planning commission. They had 3 meetings in October. So that was a little bit of an increase for them. So that's why it's a little bit up this month. And then we have election payroll, which we have all the election workers. So that's 3,480.41. That was for early voting as well as election day. So we had to have 3 days of election, early voting with 3 to 4 people. So we had 2 days with 4 inspectors and 1 day with 3. And then we had all 7 of them on election day. So that's again 3,480.41. And then vendors this month was 225,328.58. You'll see that we had a 206, almost 207,000 tax payment to the Monroe County Treasurer. That's why it's a lot this month. You'll also see 2 payments to Rick Sweet, which is our lawnmower guy. It's just how the invoices landed. So he got double payment this past month for September and October. And then also Stevens Disposal, that was the fall trash day, so that was paid as well.
And the $3,000, we already paid that like 6 months ago. We were paid that. We just sent it back out to, that was where they put that crypt in price. For the,
Oh, yeah, the southeastern fencing, yeah.
that's for the crypt. That's
Yes.
already been way paid for. So
Yes.
it costs us anything.
Yeah. And then we always have a 941 payment. Everything else is pretty standard for the month, so. So that's a total of 240,202.63 for the month.
I make a motion to accept the election payroll, vendor payroll, and regular payroll.
I'll second that.
We'll do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Olga, yes, and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
Fund balances.
General fund has 131,691. Tax account has 223,796. Fire fund has 194,471. Road fund has 53,450. Our ICS is 414,655. Old National Farm Savings is 63,909. You have $422,621 in CDs. Our total relief fund is still at 33,449. So makes the total, we have 1,504,596. And if you take the tax money out, because that's not ours, we have $1,280,799.
I make a motion to accept fund balances. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Real quick on that, just to let you know, the road comes in that, we got 2 bills coming in from the road commission. One's for a culvert, one's for the road.
Yep, and then I will work with Joel to make sure that we get money
Yeah,
moved
we need
over
about
to.
54 grand. And
Yeah.
then we're covered for the year we're done.
Perfect.
On to Building report.
During October, 3 building permits were issued, 2 electrical permits, 3 mechanical, 2 plumbing, and 8 building inspections were completed. And he worked 18 hours at the office in the building report.
Motion to accept the building report?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Assessors report.
Now through the end of the year, I'll be gathering information and finishing up the inspections for the building permits. I'm working on the community development program imports and making sure that's fine tuned. I completed the L4016 supplemental special assessment report and submitted it to the state. The inflation rate multiplier is down this year. The amount was 3.1%, 5% last year, so that's a good news. The taxes hopefully won't go up as much. So that's a good thing. I finalized the residential class land values in ECFs and awaiting appraisal studies from the county equalization department for the ag, commercial, and industrial buildings. I attended class on the cloud program at the Michigan Assessors Conference, learned a little bit there, and I'm going to attend another one on November 21st. Monday, Joel and I are going to balance with the taxes. I didn't put that on there, but I was saying that because we're going to be just scheduled that. So looking ahead, I want to just remind the board that we'll need to adopt the resolution regarding hardship exemptions, and the state tax commission will be issuing the guidelines soon, and I'll get that information ready for you for the December meeting.
Perfect, thank you.
I'll prepare personal property statements for mailing and conduct my personal property canvas at the end of December. The board review will be conducted December 10th for clerical errors, mutual mistakes of fact, and actually not poverty, because if we have a poverty, but we don't have any at this time, but
Right.
I haven't seen any come in. It's not for valuation appeals. And then I'll process the 2024 land divisions and create new parcels for the 25 roll. And then I also want to remind you, which I think you already know, about the board review appointments starting in January.
Perfect, thank you.
That's it.
So with the inflation rate multipliers, since it's down to 3.1, does that ever mean that there's going to be a decrease in taxes, or does it just sort of stay the same and just not increase as much?
It's not going to increase as much for the tax bills. Last
Okay.
year it was capped at 5%, and this year it's 3.1%.
Oh, okay,
Which
okay.
actually has 2 years in a row for 5%
It
too.
was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good.
That's good news. That hopefully means inflation's coming down.
Yeah,
So
hopefully.
I make a motion to accept the assessors report.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance report.
Well, looks like Mr. Doobie had some movement this month on Ann Arbor Road and Wabash Road. He's here. Would you like to tell us, Mr. Doobie? Tell us
No.
the movement? I didn't read it.
We're still, the one in Ann Arbor Road, I'm still working on. She unfortunately, the homeowner passed away. The property's in a trust. Not much you can do legally with a trust property. Nobody knows who's gonna own it yet. So until then, I'm still working with them. Had a court case scheduled last month for one of my blight cases on Wabash. However, Judge Brown, 2 days before the trial, got COVID. So now my trial date for that case has been rescheduled for the day after Christmas. Congratulations. I'm working with the Sheriff's Department on service for a blight case out on Ridge Road. We can't seem to find the property owner. He's never there. And then when he is there, he disappears real quick. So the detective can't get the warrant served on him. We've got until the end of November, and then we're gonna have to seek alternate service. I can't serve it personally to him because I'm named in the case. So working with the sheriff, the neighbors are contacting me when the president, the property owner's there. And by the time sheriffs get out there, he's gone anyway. So we're still plugging away. We had another complaint on Wabash of too many vehicles. That individual has been moving them out slowly but surely, been cleaning up his own property, doing it on his own. So as long as there's movement and I check in with him weekly, and we'll just, we'll monitor his progress.
Perfect. I make a motion to accept the ordinance report.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Fire department report. Last month we had 16 calls. There was a brush and grass fire. I can tell you about that one. That was entertaining. And the other one was a combine fire the farmer had put out by the time the fire department got there. 16 service calls, which were up 5 from the month before that, but we run right around 11 to 16 calls every month. So we're trending where we need to be. It's a little bit higher because of the
Are we going to get clarification on the Salem Circle building fire?
Yes.
Because I don't think we should be paying for a different towns or cities.
No, I'm gonna call him on that. That's good to bring that up to remind me, because yeah, I want to call him on that. We actually got a fire board meeting at the end of this month.
Okay.
So I might bring that to their board and see what they got to say. Pretty much that's it.
I think that's Celine, right? Salem Circle? Wasn't that Celine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely not do this. I don't know if it's assistance, but I don't think we pay for that. If you guys could take it, starts to the.
Yeah, and I'll keep an eye on our invoices to make sure that that one
Yeah.
does not pop up for any reason.
It could not be good.
I make a motion to accept the fire department report.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm sheriff's report. 40 calls. A lot of them due to traffic stops. It's down from, it's up from last month. But the 2 months prior to that were 85 calls and 73 calls. Last month was 33 calls. This is 40 calls. I have talked to the sheriff department, state police about our truck route issues. I have called central dispatch. Anytime you see a bunch of semis coming down Cone Road, call central dispatch. They'll send a car right out. So hopefully we can curb that little issue we have out here. It's kind of what I'm working on. That's pretty much it.
I make a motion to accept the sheriff's department report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sexton position.
All right, so at last month's meeting, we had talked about posting for a sexton position to help with the cemetery duties. And we had decided that we were going to get together a document of the responsibilities to post so that we can be very specific as to what this job is going to entail. So Mark and Amanda worked together to get this all together. So pretty much it's gonna be coordinating, so assisting with burial date services, helping grieving families as needed, maintenance that includes obviously the grounds, including but not limited to any removing of any refuse, unauthorized landscaping items, planted or ornamental, and then anything else outlined in the ordinance. And then it also explains the duties for spring and fall cemetery cleanup, record keeping, so maintaining any open communication about burial records, the cemetery ledger, and maps of occupied lots, working with the clerk and supervisor to be sure the records are preserved correctly. That is going to be a task in and of itself, but once that's all maintained, I think this position will even out work-wise. And then information, providing any information needed about cemetery services and fees to the public. And then any additional duties assigned by the Milan Township Board. So anything that we think this person could potentially be working on, we'll obviously talk about it here and approve it or deny it at that time, and then assign it to that person. So anything else that looks blatantly that we need to add, change, discuss?
Just did your roll call at the end, so we can post it in the newspaper. Nick, anything out?
No, sir.
Olga?
No.
Joel?
Nope.
Beth? Nope. Me? Nope.
So I make a motion to accept the responsibilities and post in the Dundee Independent requesting applications.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Kozar, yes. Treasurer Gratz,
Yes.
Trustee Mansik,
Yes.
and Trustee Stroud.
Yes.
Get that paper, Amanda, if you could. Thank you.
Next is the streetlight resolution. So Joel had brought up at last month's meeting that we are needing to increase the streetlight fund by 10% because we were gonna be a little under at year end. So we had talked about doing 10%. I created a resolution. It pretty much is the same one as we did for last year. It just, the current budget is 9,350. So increasing that by 10%, it would make the budget at 10,285. I still think we might be a little bit under, but at least it'll be closer. We don't ever want to be over in the budget, from what I understand, correct?
You're trying to get as close as you can,
I think we'll be within,
you know,
Better than where we were at.
correct.
yeah.
It will definitely close the gap.
And I will have to say that we've just been trying to keep up with it,
Yes,
you know.
yeah, we don't
the
want to
last
get to
2
the
years,
point.
Just going up and up and up.
Mhm. Yeah, and electricity is not getting any cheaper. They
And a
keep-
quick update on that too. I drove through Azalea today, about 4 streetlights are out again, so.
Oh, no, okay.
But I didn't sign up with DTE. It's free. They're supposed to do like a ride around every so often, check the lights. I'm still gonna send a little report in and report them lights being out. So I gotta go tag them tomorrow night.
Yeah, because I mean, the bill this past month was like $1,100, so.
Yeah,
And as it obviously gets darker, they're gonna turn on more.
Right.
but if they're not on, how are they charging us that much? Yeah, I know, that's kind of funny.
Because the thing is still, the meter's still running.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. So I make a motion to approve the streetlight resolution to increase the budget by 10%, making the final budget 10,285.
I'll second that.
We'll do a roll call. Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes. Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Mansick,
Yes,
and Trustee Nick.
Yes.
All right, next, new business, so trash day, we are wanting to get on the ball with trash day dates so we can make sure that they're on the tax bill. Because I think that was our biggest mistake for fall and why we didn't have as many loads is because it wasn't on the tax bill. So we usually have spring in April and then fall in September, so
Well, it's in May, right?
we had it in April last year.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we?
It was April 20th, I believe, or 21st. I mean, we can push it to May.
It was 420.
It was 420, okay. We can push
Oh,
it to
yeah.
May if you feel strongly about it, but
I say the 25th
of
April.
26th, you mean? Because 25th is a Friday.
26, yeah, correct.
Okay.
I can
Is that
also
gonna be
put a
nice sunny
notice
day?
on-
What's that?
I can put a notice on the assessment change notices and.
Oh, that-
Oh, that would be helpful
That'd be
too,
good,
yeah. Anywhere I think we can get it out there, I think will be helpful.
Yeah, because that would be like a gentle reminder if they're getting the tax bill.
Yep.
In December, and then it's like kind of like a reminder in February.
Yeah, that's easy to do that.
Perfect. So, Mark, you think the 26th for
Yeah,
spring?
I'm good with that.
Okay, what do we think for, we're gonna do September again for
Yeah,
fall?
like the 26th maybe?
So April
27th, I'm
26th,
sorry.
so April 26th and then September 27th?
Yeah.
Are you making a motion?
I
And
make a
then
mo-
so hold on, we also have to decide, are we gonna stay with Stevens or look for alternates, or do we wanna decide that later?
Let's decide that later. For now, at least get it on the books that we're gonna do it.
But my thing is, if we put it on the tax bills, that it's on these specific dates, and then Stevens or Fairway doesn't have these dates open.
Right.
Let me,
So-
I'll make a phone call this week, when I get back.
Okay,
What have you spent in the past? Put a cap on it.
oh, you're so smart, yes, so spring was like 3,000, I think both of them were about 3,000. 2,500 to 3,000, so,
Yeah, but last year they got carried away in April, and it was $5,000, remember? We had to get that corrected. Yeah,
oh, yeah,
it was a mess.
so, I mean, I think a cap of, 7,000 for both of them.
Over both, yeah.
20, that gives us a little bit of leeway in case prices go up.
Because they're usually about $3,000.
Mhm.
I'll call them Monday.
So instead of deciding which trash company, we can say with a price cap. So, You wanna make a motion? You want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, I make a motion to schedule the spring trash day for April 26th and the fall trash day for September 27th with a price cap of $7,000.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Well, let's do a roll call.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Supervisor Bogey,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Mansick,
Yes,
and Trustee Stroud.
Yes.
Okay, we're on to the engineer quote. This is gonna be segue into something else too, because we discussed, some other small issues. Actually, I talked to Dave Kabisky today about this, about our future land plan use, because it came from the planning commission, which is, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's actually, oh my God, what's it supposed to be called?
Master plan.
The master plan. I don't know why they changed the name of it. And for doing all this, he's gonna charge about $4,800. If I remember correctly, 10 years ago we did, or 50, in 2015, it was like big money to do this. So he's basically gonna tie in all the numbers. Do you want to speak about it real quick, or?
Sure, if you want me to.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Dave Bisbee, Township Engineer. Didn't mean to be here, just happened to stop in. I wanted to say congratulations to Olga on your retirement, but
Oh.
so I really came. But what it comes down to is the master plan is the master plan for the township, and it's gonna be put together. And it has been put together. The planning commission has worked really carefully on it. We're wrapping it up now, and it needs to be edited, proofread, and put together. It's gotta have the new numbers for the population. There's some minor changes in it, but in general, it's still going in the same direction Milan Township always has. And so, that's what I like to say about it.
And that segued into, he found out, and along with our assessor and all this, and our zoning officer, about combination boundary adjustment policy and land splitting. It's kind of,
So it's not consistent with all of our other policies. So all of our other policies for any type of change to a landscape requires board approval. So Dave had mentioned that this one was out of consistent. It's not consistent with all of our other policies. And the way it's written has a lot of different loopholes, and it contradicts itself, and it just needs to be readdressed. So with that, with him looking at the master plan, this future land use plan, we also would like to talk about making a administrative change while they're working on all of the master plan itself, to where we make an administrative change of how the process works for boundary adjustments, to bring it into kind of compliance with all of our other processes. So everything's consistent across the board. So what the recommendation is that the property owner would submit a completed combination boundary adjustment application in addition to the required documents and fees to the clerk. After receipt by the clerk will forward the application and supporting documents to the zoning administrator. The zoning administrator will conduct a review of the combination boundary adjustment plan and make an approve or deny recommendation to the township board. And then the township board will approve or deny the said application at the next available meeting. I think also with this, I mean, Tim's really good about it with working with Karen and Robert, getting any type of recommendation from, their colleagues as well, I think.
this was recommended by the lawyer too, by the way. I
Oh,
talked to
yeah.
him on that.
Yeah.
To make sure. it's right.
So this would, like I said, it's an administrative change until it's actually changed in the policy, just to kind of bring us to consistent with everything else, so.
I make a motion to accept the engineer quote and do the future land use under all one deal. But we're gonna have to post that in the paper, though, aren't we?
We'll post
Yeah.
so your motion is to accept for the 4,800 as well as the administrative
Yep.
change for the boundary adjustment policy. Okay. And yes, we will post that in the, I will second that. So we will post that in the paper as well. By law, we have to post any changes to the ordinance and stuff like that, but So roll call will do Supervisor Bogie,
Yes.
Clerk Stephanie, yes, Treasurer Joel,
Yes.
Trustee Mansick,
Yes,
and Trustee Straub.
Hold on one
Yep.
second. Is this included, the ones you already done? The meetings that you've already done?
It does.
Okay.
Yep, we just have the last new business. So I just wanted to bring forward, so as you all know, the elections have turned into quite of a hairy experience with 9 days of early voting and just all the additional changes, everything that has to be kept up. The state changes things within days of an election. So Jenna has worked extremely hard on the elections. I could not have done it without her. I will tell you, I did not do nearly as much as what a clerk should have done. She was a complete rock star. And I don't think she gets enough recognition for all the work that she did do. We were here from this past election from 6 a.m. and her and I did not leave here until about 2:30 in the morning. County issues, we were actually done in record time. Our inspectors were amazing. So I wanted to see about, since we have not given any type of adjustment to salary for me, which I'm not asking for, but we also have not increased her pay for any of the additional election stuff that she does. I wanted to see if, we could come together to give her a lump sum of something for the 3 large elections that she did this year. I don't know what that looks like, but I wanted to bring it here to see if that's something that we could think about doing, because I don't think anybody realizes the amount of work and stress and just
At least she needs
Yeah.
a new pair of shoes, because she must have ran across back and forth. I don't know. I was here all day. and
just the responsibility alone was astronomical, and like I said, I could not have done it without her, especially with her having only done the recall election and me not having done any election. It was a very stressful and hairy time, so
Well, your hair didn't catch fire, so it wasn't bad.
yeah, well, some of it's falling out.
What's the rate now?
So her rate right now, I believe it's $20 an hour. So, I'm not asking for, any type of raise, long term, but just a lump sum for the 3 elections that she did do. I don't know
3
what that looks like.
elections?
3 elections. I couldn't even count probably the hours that, because, speaking on the phone with her, just things that we were doing outside of our daily, Wednesdays and Thursdays that we're here. There's just a lot, so.
Any ideas on?
And this might be too much, not enough, I don't know, I was thinking at least 500 an election. I don't know if that's not
Exactly what
enough,
I was thinking.
so it'd be a lump sum of $1,500. I think that's a drop in the bucket, but I think it's fair.
Yeah, for amount of hours you put in. I was here I got here like 6:15. She's already here.
Yeah, and just the amount of people that, in different situations, we had new registered voters, we had people coming in that don't even belong to Milan Township. It's just, there's a lot of responsibility that I don't think we can even understand. And like I said, things change on the daily during election season, and it was a very humbling experience.
So it's for additional responsibilities.
Yes.
During the election.
Correct.
Because that was 3 elections.
Yeah, February, August, and then November.
She's doing more than what a deputy clerk would do.
Correct.
That's what you're saying.
Do we have another election to vote on?
You should probably just like something up.
Okay.
This is the additional items just to cover what
Mhm.
You know, so you're not just throwing a number,
Sure.
you know,
Mhm.
it may be low, it may be high, I don't know, but,
We should probably do a resolution, do you think? That'd be a good
Yeah.
idea.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
let's
so.
do a resolution.
Okay.
You know, just kind of, if you jot down,
Mhm.
you know, what your thoughts are, you know,
Yeah.
things that she took on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll create a resolution. I'll bring it back for December's meeting. And then we can go from there.
So we'll table that till
Yeah.
next month. Moving right along, anything else?
No.
Supervisor comments, well, we're all gathered here for a glorious moment for Olga. Got a couple things to read for. November 19th, 2000. Emily Bowerman, which happens to be Jenna's grandmother, administered the oath of office to Olga Manzik, which that's what that would be. I copied it out of the book for you. As a trustee of Milan Township Board of Trustees, Olga has been a trustee through 5 supervisors, which Robert Knetz, which is your grandfather, Sam Mills, David Whitcott, Phil Heath, and you're stuck with me on the end, so. I know you had to put up a lot. She's given so much of herself to the community. She has a wealth of knowledge and helping hand whenever it's needed. Has a kindest heart. She speaks softly, but she's a fighter. That's what she's done in 24 years as a Milan Township trustee. I want to thank you, Olga, for everything, and we wish you best in your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank you. As a lifelong resident of Milan Township, I'm concerned about the township and its people all the time. But most of all, I thank you for giving me the honor of being a trustee for these 24 years. I've enjoyed all of it.
Well,
Thank
we've
you.
enjoyed you.
We've enjoyed
Thank you.
yes.
So we'll give you a little gift card here and a card for you.
Thank you.
We got you a bigger flag because that one's kind of small.
Oh, my God.
It's something to read when you got your board out of your mind, since you won't have anything to do now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Amanda, for helping me write that, because yeah, I had all the facts, I just couldn't get everything in order, so.
She still has to come down for trash day though, doesn't
Oh,
she?
yes, that's
Yes.
my favorite.
There's no giving that one up.
No, no, absolutely not.
I do appreciate all the help and guiding us the correct way, so.
Thank you. I've enjoyed doing it.
You have definitely been a integral part of keeping this township the way our residents want it. I mean, fighting the railroad and, you know, all the big things that have tried to come through here, you have really stepped up and spoke for our residents, so we really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I'm done with mine, you can move on to
For
you.
example, for the younger. crew
Absolutely.
that is Coming in.
Yep.
She's kind of a great role model.
Yep.
Yeah, because of that fight.
All right, your time, I'm done.
Okay, well, as you guys all know, election is over, thank the precious Lord. Our election stats, so we had 121 early voters, so that's about 11 voters a day on average from Milan Township. We had 2 in February and 4 in August, so that's a enormous jump. We had 8 newly registered voters that came in on Tuesday. We sent out 351 absentee ballots. 335 were returned, so we almost had almost all of them back, which is great. On election day, we had 545 people come through and cast a ballot. With absentee ballots and ballots casted on election day, there was 880 total ballots casted, and with early voting, absentee and election day voters, we had 1,001 total voted ballots, which, funny enough, is the exact same amount we had in 2020. So it was a long day. We had a couple new inspectors help us out. We had 7 instead of our usual 5, and they were amazing. We actually had a line out the door when I opened the doors up, which was rare. I mean, February and August, we did not have that. But voters came out, and yeah, and thank you all for voting us back in, even though we didn't have anybody voting or running against us. But it went very smooth up until the tail end, and that was just some technical difficulties with the county. So Other than that, I am not looking forward to the next one in 2 years, but the millage passed, so we won't have one next year unless the school has something else coming through, so.
Good.
Other than that.
All set?
Mhm.
Mr. Treasurer.
I just want to thank Olga for 24 years.
Oh, you're most welcome.
We, my first couple of years were quite interesting here. But, yeah, it's great. And I want to thank Stephanie and Jenna for all the work they've done this last month. They've been running around here like chickens with their head cut off.
I love being able to erase things off the whiteboard.
Yeah.
2 columns worth of election stuff, and
Yes.
it's nice erasing everything.
And I'm not gonna talk taxes because nobody wants to hear it. So.
All right, he knows that.
That's it.
Mr. Straub.
Yes, I would like to thank Olga too. Olga is a big part of, I think, what went through the last several years. You know, this township could have really been in a dire straits with the new people coming in, and I'm sure, you know, she glued it together, helped, you know, Joel knew, Bogey knew, Stephanie knew, and me knew, and more, you know, Cheryl knew on the planning commission. So, yeah, it's good to have somebody that's been here for 24 years that is as respected as Olga.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Guided us the right way.
Yeah. Don't stop, even though you're gonna be over here with us.
Okay, Olga, your turn to speak.
I've said it all. You know, being a lifelong resident of the township, I do care about the township and its people and what goes on here. And it's just good to get the input from the people and try to help people with whatever issues they may have. But most of all, I have been honored that you have put me in this position for the last 24 years. I've enjoyed it all. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Might say something for the staff, but they disappeared. So we'll go on to public comment. Anybody, any comments? Got 5 minutes. No, here we go. All right, Cheryl.
I just wanted to say thanks so much to Olga too. We've learned a lot from Olga through the years, not just since I've been on the planning commission, but before that too, trying to get input on different things. But has anyone had the white truck go around that's doing the surveying? Has anyone?
Yes, so that is, it's a, I just got their permit application, actually. They are surveying the area to put in fiber optic for broadband. And that is what their application is for. It's for internet services. So I'll be getting it to Pat for him, because I believe it comes through you guys first. And it's through the Metro Act, which is to pretty much get rural areas, broadband internet access.
Utility and gas too, I think is part of the Metro Act, isn't it?
Yeah, so, but we also just got a certified letter from Comcast that we already have a contract through them. They're already contracted here. I don't think anybody in this township has Comcast. So Mark is looking into that, and they kind of go hand in hand. So I know there were some concerns that it was, you know, a renewable energy group. It does sound like that is something that they do as well, but that is not what they are submitting an application for. It is for broadband services for fiber optic.
Well, he said that it was for internet, but they were working for the government
Yes.
with the internet. And
Yeah.
it's like, well.
So there's federal.
Did anyone bother to see that, you know, we're like 5 miles from each other here? And
Yeah.
So we
So,
really want it?
Well, actually, I've been fighting that for about 2 years now, or since I got on the board. And I went, it's called My High, Michigan My High.
Yeah.
And I went to a couple meetings and it's really entertaining. They give us all little stickers and they put little boards up and we had to take the little stickers like 12-year-olds and put them on the board, what was important and the colors and the coding. And I put my 2 stickers up and went, sat back down. There was a bunch of other supervisors there. They goes, well, you got other stickers to put up. I'm like, no, I really don't. I'm not 12 years old. This is getting ridiculous. And 2 other supervisors sat down and goes, yeah, why are we here?
Yeah.
We're trying to get internet for our residents. And I said, we're going through all these hoops and boundaries and stickers. And I mean, we just want internet. We want it cheap and we want it fast. That's all we need. We don't need all the other things that go along with it. So,
Yeah.
Well, my question was, if we have issues, who do we call?
well, once it's laid, this company is doing the surveying. They're actually got another company who's going to lay in the ground. And I got a funny feeling they're tied in with Comcast.
they could be.
Because what it is, back probably 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, actually Milan, or not Milan, but there's all underserved areas in the state of Michigan. And they decided to find out who's underserved. And they said we weren't, which we fought that. And they're gonna come up with internet. So all of UP is getting internet all over. And I mean, they're paying big money to have that done. That's all I really can say about it.
So
It's a government
Is
deal.
this government grants then?
Yes,
Yeah.
they have a bunch of federal, funding to bring internet, high-speed internet to rural areas that don't currently have it.
And I bet you Mr. Kaminsky can fill us in on
Yeah.
that.
I can fill you a little bit. Yeah, we're familiar with a lot of the townships that are getting this, not only here, but Ohio too. And it was part of the, money that they printed off in federal government to make sure they get it. And the funny thing about it actually is for rural America and most of the towns towns are actually getting it first, not rural America. But I do want to caution the township to make sure that they know where they're putting the fiber optic in. We run into the past, and I'm not going to name names of the people that are doing it, that they measure from the center of the road and they say we have to be 30 feet or 32 because they have to be 1 foot off the right of way. But the center of the road in Monroe County has nothing to do with where the right of way is. The roads have 66 feet to put wherever they want them. They can go 10 feet this way, 10 feet that way. And we found in other locations that they're literally putting in fiber optic on private property. So we want to make sure that we're active in what they're doing with you to let them know that that doesn't fly.
Right.
Well, I was very vocal with the gentleman that was walking straight through my front yard.
Like that.
Yeah, that I told him, I said, you know, we are a suspicious group out here. And I don't care that you have a reflective vest and a stick in your hand. We don't really do well with people walking straight through our property without letting us know who we are, so.
And you gotta know where it's at. And then the
Correct.
bottom line is there's certain corridors within the township, within the county, in the state, that you can put water, sewer, gas lines. And if you don't know where those are, then you're gonna be breaking fiber optics, or you're gonna be going through gas lines, and maybe someday you'll get water and sewer, and you need to know where that corridor is,
Right.
and you don't wanna be hitting a fiber optic every 5 feet. And you have to stay in your lane kind of thing. And a lot of them don't, because if they come to a township like you and nobody says anything, it could be spaghetti, you know,
Right.
go around power pole twice, go up and down, go through guys' yard. Because they don't care.
Right.
So we understand it.
Yeah, so I will, I'll be letting Pat know that we got the application, so that the planning commission can take a look at it, and I'm sure Pat will get with you to
Sure he
review
will.
things.
Okay.
It's like a good friend of mine worked for Charter Communications, a superintendent, and I asked him, I say, hey, we're gonna get this high speed one of these days. Are we in the area? Because he can look for the whole state of Michigan. He goes, no. That's great. Who is it? He goes, can't tell you. We don't know. You'd have to call every internet provider out there and find out who it is
Yeah, it's
until they show up.
Yeah, this company, I wanna say it's like Midwest Communications or something like that.
Basically, I think they're burying it for Comcast, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
Well,
sir.
Sorry.
The backstory to all of that, to answer your question as to who's gonna be responsible for it. What it is it's one contractor gonna lay the cables, then it's that company that is going to sell the bits and pieces and the rights to that fiber optic to the local providers. So say the majority of, pick on Ida, is Frontier. Well, then Frontier is gonna be their main provider,
Okay.
even for
Like
the
these
government
GMT.
access internet. So out here, if it's Comcast is a major provider, or if it's Spectrum, then they'll get the contract.
But it's one of those where they're just gonna sell off the bits and pieces once it's all laid, the groundwork. And they'll be the ones providing the service. They'll be the ones collecting the government fundage also. for the service. So that's my understanding from NEMCOG.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Well, I did talk to the one guy that was walking through our front yard, cause I work from home. so
Yeah,
I see him working, and I went out there, I said, excuse me, can I help you? He said, oh, I'm just measuring, cause we're gonna put cable in.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, cause I seen the surveyors, a truck go through a few days before that and pulled into our driveway, and I went out because they were just sitting there. And then a few days later, this guy was out walking around the front yard, and he said that they'll actually probably within the next month be laying the fake fiber.
Well, they have to get approval from us to lay anything. So we have 45 days per the Metro Act to approve or deny.
Right.
And I just got the application, and now that I'm thinking about it, so the application was from Midwest Communications. The gentleman I spoke to, actually, I believe said he was from Sigma Technologies.
Yes.
So we very well could have two different places,
Yeah, this one
submitting
said he was
applications.
from Sigma,
yeah.
and he was doing it for MGM.
And that, okay, so that might be what, I'm blanking on the
Yeah.
company name, so that very well could be
Yeah.
who they were working for, but
Right.
yeah, we have to approve or deny before
Right.
they
And
do
that's what I
anything.
said, I said, you got all the approvals, and, oh yeah, it's all taken care
Cause I asked him too, and I said, did you let anybody from the township know that you're here? He's like, oh no, we're just getting all the surveying done to submit our permits because we haven't yet. I said, well, I'm the clerk at the township, so it would have been really nice for you to let us know, so we could let our residents know, so none of you get shot.
of. Well,
Because,
and that's what I said, you might wanna be careful walking around out
Yeah.
here.
yeah,
It's deer season.
it is your season now, yeah.
Just and on top of that, I just want to remind everybody, you really shouldn't be challenging individuals that show up in your front yard. That's why you pay taxes, and that's what the sheriffs are for. When in doubt,
Fair,
call your local law enforcement, let them go out and deal with these people. Because you never know who you're dealing with, and you never know how they're gonna react to you dealing with them. So it's a lot easier to let the sheriffs handle it, let them do the questioning, then let them respond to you.
One more thing.
By the time they get there, they can-
And one of the other things too is that they think they got a permit because they probably went to the Monroe County Road Commission and said, I want to put a cable in this road. And they probably took a picture off of Google Earth and they put a magic marker and said, I'm putting it right here. And the road commission says, fine,
okay,
Yeah,
okay? About 3 years ago, they did a really good job at, when I say they, I'm talking about the cable companies, lobbying Lansing to stop having those extra costs of those stupid surveying. It's a lot easier just to do a Google Earth and a magic marker and call it good. And they've run into serious problems since they've decided not to do that. 3, 4, 5 years ago, Sigma was required to actually locate the right of way and stake the right of way and then put the cable in. And they're not required that anymore because Lansing got rid of that.
crazy.
So, but it's a good idea for the townships to pay attention on.
yeah, appreciate that.
Anybody else? Staff? Oh, our staff now, deputy supervisor now is the clerk over at London Township. She won an election over there. So, do you have anything to say quickly?
Sorry.
Our condolences.
Thank you, Olga, for everything. You've given me a lot of knowledge. And every time, no matter what, you always seem to put a smile on my face.
Thank you kindly. Thank you very much.
I wish you the best in whatever you do beyond this. But don't be a stranger. You
I
know,
won't, don't worry. No, I'll be around. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Miss Aretta, are you gonna say something?
I'm here. Thank you, Olga, for 24 years. I didn't know you before the railroad fight. That's when I met you. And we've been pretty good friends since then. I've really enjoyed your company. Thank you.
Indeed, I feel the same, Loretta. Thank you very much.
All right. Patty, that's something? Or no?
Probably not.
No? All right. No one has anything else? I'd like to make a motion to call the meeting at 7:54 PM.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Now, on to the good stuff. You see you? And there's a potluck back here, everybody join in. You wanted food for you? How about that?